Global trade relies on a complex network of maritime routes. These routes connect continents and facilitate the flow of goods. They are the arteries of the global economy. Over 90% of global trade travels by sea. This highlights the critical importance of efficient and reliable shipping lanes. These routes are not mere lines on a map. They represent intricate systems. Factors like geography, infrastructure, and geopolitics influence these routes. Changes to these routes can significantly impact global trade. They can affect shipping times, costs, and even political relationships. Understanding these routes is crucial for comprehending global trade dynamics. The Panama Canal and the proposed Nicaragua Canal are prime examples of this. They illustrate how infrastructure projects can reshape these vital pathways. They also highlight the complex interplay of economics, politics, and geography. The Panama Canal is an engineering marvel. It revolutionized global shipping when it opened in 1914. The canal connects the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. This eliminates the need for ships to navigate around the treacherous Cape Horn. The canal significantly reduced shipping times and costs. This facilitated global trade and spurred economic growth. For over a century, it has been a vital artery of global commerce. Millions of tons of cargo pass through it annually. However, the Panama Canal faces limitations. Its size restricts the passage of larger vessels, known as post-Panamax ships. These ships now dominate global shipping. This has led to congestion and higher costs. Despite expansion efforts in recent years, concerns remain about the canal's long-term capacity. This has fueled interest in alternative routes. The proposed Nicaragua Canal is one such alternative. The proposed Nicaragua Canal is a massive infrastructure project. It aims to create a new waterway through Nicaragua. This canal would be significantly larger and deeper than the Panama Canal. It could accommodate even the largest cargo ships. Proponents argue that the Nicaragua Canal would offer several advantages. It would reduce shipping times between Asia and the Americas. It could also lower transportation costs. This could reshape global trade patterns. The project has garnered interest from various countries, including China. Its strategic location in Central America makes it geopolitically significant. However, the canal faces numerous challenges. Financial viability is a major concern. The estimated cost of $50 billion raises questions about its economic feasibility. Environmental concerns also loom large. Elon Musk, the visionary entrepreneur, has expressed concerns about the Nicaragua Canal. This ambitious project aims to create a new shipping route that could rival the Panama Canal, but Musk is wary of its broader implications. He highlights the potential disruption it could cause to established global supply chains, which have been meticulously developed over decades. Musk, known for his insights into technology and infrastructure, believes the project warrants careful consideration. He stresses that any major changes to global trade routes must be thoroughly evaluated. Musk's concerns stem from his understanding of complex systems and the delicate balance that keeps global trade running smoothly. He recognizes the interconnected nature of global trade and logistics, where even a small change can have significant repercussions. The introduction of a new canal, especially one of this magnitude, could have ripple effects throughout the world, affecting shipping times, costs, and routes. Musk emphasizes the potential impact on the Panama Canal, a critical artery for international trade. A larger canal in Nicaragua could divert significant traffic, altering the dynamics of global shipping. This could undermine the economic viability of the Panama Canal, which has been a cornerstone of Panama's economy for over a century. Such a shift could have far-reaching consequences for Panama's economy, potentially leading to job losses and reduced revenue. Furthermore, Musk acknowledges the environmental risks associated with the project, which could be substantial. Large-scale construction could have detrimental effects on Lake Nicaragua, a vital freshwater source for the region, impacting both wildlife and local communities. Musk's concerns highlight the need for a comprehensive assessment of the project's potential benefits and risks, ensuring that all factors are considered before moving forward. Section 5. China's Strategic Gambit, the Geopolitics of the Canal. China's involvement in the Nicaragua Canal project has added a significant geopolitical dimension to the region. This ambitious project, if completed, could alter the balance of power in Central America. China's growing economic and political influence has raised concerns in the United States. The US views China's expanding footprint as a potential threat to its own interests in the Western Hemisphere. The canal's strategic location in Central America amplifies these concerns. It sits at a critical juncture for global trade routes, making it a highly coveted asset. The US has long considered Central America within its sphere of influence. Historically, the region has been a focal point of American foreign policy and military strategy. The Panama Canal has been a cornerstone of US strategy in the region for over a century. Its control has allowed the US to project power and secure its economic interests. The Nicaragua Canal, with potential Chinese control, challenges this dynamic. It represents a direct challenge to the dominance of the Panama Canal and, by extension, US influence. Experts point to China's Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI. This global development strategy aims to enhance trade routes and stimulate economic growth across Asia, Europe, and Africa. The BRI aims to connect Asia with Europe and Africa through a network of infrastructure projects. These include ports, railways, and roads, designed to facilitate smoother and faster trade. The Nicaragua Canal could be a strategic asset for China within this framework. It would provide an alternative route for Chinese goods, bypassing the US-controlled Panama Canal. This has sparked concerns about China's long-term ambitions. Analysts worry that the canal could be used to extend China's influence far beyond its borders. Some fear that China could use the canal for military purposes. The presence of Chinese infrastructure in such a strategic location could have significant security implications. This underscores the geopolitical complexities surrounding the project. The Nicaragua Canal is more than just an engineering feat, it is a symbol of the shifting power dynamics in global politics. Section 6. A canal drowning in debt, financial and environmental challenges. The Nicaragua Canal project faces daunting financial and environmental challenges. The estimated cost of $50 billion raises questions about its economic viability. Critics argue that the project could saddle Nicaragua with unsustainable debt. The project's financing remains opaque. The involvement of a Chinese company has raised concerns about transparency and potential corruption. Critics argue that the project could benefit Chinese interests more than Nicaragua's. Environmental concerns are equally pressing. The canal's route through Lake Nicaragua, the largest freshwater lake in Central America, poses significant risks. Dredging and construction could irreparably damage the lake's ecosystem. Pollution from increased shipping traffic is another concern. Conservationists argue that the project could have catastrophic consequences for biodiversity and water quality. Section 7. Voices of Dissent. Public opposition in Nicaragua. Public opposition to the Nicaragua Canal project has been significant, with various groups expressing their discontent. Local communities have voiced concerns about land rights, environmental damage, and lack of transparency. They fear the long-term consequences that such a massive infrastructure project could bring to their homes and environment. Protests have erupted across the country, reflecting widespread anxiety about the project. These demonstrations have brought together people from all walks of life, united in their opposition. Farmers and indigenous groups have been particularly vocal. They argue that their way of life is under threat, and their cultural heritage is at risk of being erased. They fear displacement from their land and the destruction of their livelihoods. The potential loss of fertile farmland is a major concern for these communities. The government's handling of the project has exacerbated tensions. Many feel that their voices are not being heard and their concerns are being dismissed. Critics accuse the government of prioritizing foreign interests over the well-being of its citizens. They believe that the project benefits foreign investors more than the local population. They point to the lack of consultation with affected communities and the suppression of dissent. This has led to a growing sense of mistrust and frustration among the people. The government's crackdown on protests has drawn international condemnation. The heavy-handed response has only fueled further unrest and criticism. Human rights groups have documented cases of intimidation and violence against activists. These reports have highlighted the severe measures taken to silence opposition. This underscores the challenges of implementing such a massive project in a country with a history of political instability and social unrest. The situation remains tense, with no clear resolution in sight. Section 8. A New Silk Road, Reshaping Global Trade Routes. The completion of the Nicaragua Canal could have far-reaching implications for global trade. It could reshape existing trade routes and create new ones. The canal's larger capacity could accommodate ships that are currently too large for the Panama Canal. This could reduce shipping times and costs between Asia and the Americas. It could also open up new markets and opportunities for businesses worldwide. However, the canal's impact on global trade is not guaranteed. The Panama Canal remains a formidable competitor. It has undergone recent expansions and continues to invest in its infrastructure. The success of the Nicaragua Canal will depend on various factors. These include global economic conditions, shipping rates, and the efficiency of its operations. It will also depend on the ability to attract sufficient traffic and compete effectively with existing routes. Section 9. Navigating Uncertainty, the Future of the Nicaragua Canal. The future of the Nicaragua Canal remains uncertain. It faces significant financial, environmental, and political challenges. The project's viability depends on addressing these challenges effectively. The global economic climate will play a crucial role. A slowdown in global trade could make it difficult to secure financing and attract investors. The project's success also hinges on China's continued support. Political stability in Nicaragua is essential. Continued protests and unrest could deter investors and delay construction. The government must address public concerns and ensure transparency to build confidence in the project. The Nicaragua Canal represents a gamble with potentially high stakes. It could reshape global trade and elevate Nicaragua's economic standing. However, it also carries significant risks. Only time will tell whether this ambitious project will become a reality or remain a distant dream.